time to wipe the slate clean, because at any moment that ball will be coming your way again, and it will be coming in a hurry. Redemption is only one pitch away. It's a pretty quick turnaround for Game 2 between the Phillies and the LA Angels here at Citizens Bank Park. The Phils trying to erase what happened in last night's ball game and get a victory and get closer to the 500 mark. Now, interleague play has not been the friend of the Phillies, particularly this season. They're at a 7-game losing streak since that series in Texas. They've lost 10 of their last 11, and against the Angels, they are now 0-4 here at Citizens Bank Park. Hi, everybody. I'm Tom McCarthy, joined by Matt Stairs. It is day baseball here at Citizens Bank Park. And, Matt, you know as well as anybody that the good thing about baseball is that when you turn the page, you literally do it within 24 hours most times.
Yeah, and it's very important for one guy, and that's Cody Ashley. He had a tough night last night playing defense. But the nice thing about baseball is you can bounce back the next day. You can go out there and give 100% playing defense. Last night he really struggled. He was fighting the ball. He was letting the ball play him. This ground ball, Pujols, he came in. He just kind of took his eye off the ball, didn't get his glove down. And this one here, all of a sudden, I'm not really sure. He just tried to hustle the throw too much, where he probably should have went to first base since it was a 2-0 lead. And then the last one you're going to see where he kind of backed up on the top spinner by Trout. He probably should have charged the ball. That's what he's called, let the ball play you. But he just has to relax. He's going to have a chance tonight to go out and redeem himself from the day game today. So and he needs to go out and relax. And like he sits here, sometimes you make all the plays. It just doesn't happen. And I don't want to see the guy take the blame for a loss. But it is a tough situation when you make a lot of errors.
I thought the comments from Chase Utley this morning on local radio and also Cliff Lee last night were pretty good. They both have been in those spots before, and they kind of understand. Well, today the Phillies will take on a young pitcher they don't know a whole lot about, but he's a pitcher that's got a great fastball, and he mixes in some other good pitches, too.
Yeah, he really does. I had a good talk with Mark Langston, the radio guy from L.A., and he says this guy kind of reminds you of a Kevin Brown-style pitcher. He's a guy that goes out there 100% every pitch he throws. He tops out about 97 miles an hour and has a tremendous sinker, but the thing is he also has a very good 12-6 curveball. He's a kid that goes out and pounds the strike zone, kind of pitches away from the contact because he has that overpowering fastball where guys will swing him through, and he'll get the big ground ball when he needs to.
I think the one thing that stood out, like this game against Toronto, is that he's able to get deep into the ball game, too. For a young guy to understand to limit your pitches, I think that's important.
It is very important, especially for a guy that throws extremely hard and he's usually up in the zone. I'd like to see the Phillies go out today and be patient and try to get him out of the game early, because it seems like the longer he goes, typical power pitcher, the longer he goes in the game, he feels more comfortable, he finds his rhythm, and he starts pounding the strike zone.
All right, well, the Angels will have 3 different players in the lineup today who were selected in the first round in 2009, and Garrett Richards is one of them. He'll be opposed today by A.J. Burnett. Burnett making his 9th start of the season. We wrap up a quick 2-game series against the Angels, and it's coming up next. Phillies baseball is brought to you by Citizens Bank. Introducing One Deposit Checking. Keeping things simple is helping you bank better. By Toyota. The Toyota Time Sales event is going on now. Toyota, let's go places. By Xfinity, your home for the most live sports. And by Independence Blue Cross, the most preferred health plan in the region. Independence Blue Cross. Live fearless. Game of this quick 2-game series against the Angels. The Fanatics been very busy here today, making sure that was Garrett Richards was heading out toward the dugout, that he knew that the Fanatic was lurking right behind him. There is Garrett Richards coming in from the bullpen. The Phillies have taken the field, and A.J. Burnett casually strolls out to the mounds. Let's take a look at the Angels starting lineup. It's brought to you by Xfinity, your home for the most live sports. Leading it off at right field, Efrain Navarro. Mike Trout, the center fielder, bats second. Albert Pujols back in the lineup today, hitting third. Raul Ibanez in left field, batting cleanup. Eric Ibar will bat fifth. Hank Conger sixth. And the bottom third of Green, Jimenez, and Garrett Richards. And they'll face Phillies right-hander A.J. Burnett, 2-2, with a 2.90 ERA. Matty's had a solid year. His last outing was probably his toughest against the Toronto Blue Jays, so he's looking to get back in the swing of things today against the Angels.
Yeah, last outing he had a hard time with location with his fastball and his slider. Left up a lot of balls in the zone. Not sure why. He doesn't pitch very well in Toronto, but he's back home where he has a very good 1.56 ERA. And the one thing you're going to see about A.J. tonight, he's going to establish the fastball early, keep these hitters off balance with his good curveball.
Career numbers against the Angels, 2-2 with an ERA of 4.75. Time now for our Nissan Keys to this afternoon's ball game.
Well, I got to believe that the first one, to get back to working the count, the hitters. Yesterday in the first 3 innings, they saw 22 pitches. They need to do a better job of seeing some pitches, getting guys on base. And second of all is they have to find a way to beat these American League teams. With a record of 1-7, they just got to try to find out if they have to play small ball, get on, steal some bases, but just find a way to do it.
Remarkable that the National League teams, and even though they've been better the last couple of years, the National League teams just seem to struggle against the American League teams in the regular season. Not so much in the postseason, but in the regular season.
Maybe they're just setting them up for the postseason.
Well, Burnett has done his warm-up tosses. We're about ready to get underway. Efrain Navarro will lead things off for the L.A. Angels. Phillies will stay home, an off day tomorrow, and then the Reds come to town for a weekend series. We mentioned last night, 16 of 19. That's the stretch the Phillies have here at Citizens Bank Park. And they need to turn around that 6-10 home record. So Navarro, who's just 4 for 9 so far this year, has spent the last 4 years basically in AAA, where he's hit .312 for the Angels AAA affiliate during those 4 years. First pitch is in there, so we're underway. It's no balls and 1 strike. It'll be Navarro, Mike Trout, and Albert Pujols. Cowgill has today off after a good day yesterday. AJ with 149 career victories, 134 losses. He is 20 games over 500 during day games. That's 5th among active, 5th all time among active pitchers.
Good time for that front door sinker right here to get him looking.
That's where Ruiz is set up, and it sails outside, 2-2. It was back on the 11th of April when AJ left his start against the Marlins and was diagnosed with a non-sports hernia that he's pitching with. Well, since that time, if you just set aside the Blue Jays game, he's been not only durable, but he's also limited the opposition. Corey Blazer behind home plate. Brian O'Neill is the crew chief at first. Doug Eddings at second and Marvin Hudson at third. Little dribbler to the right of the mound, and Burnett casually picks it up. 1 away. So Navarro's retired. Here comes Mike Trout, who said he was moved by last night's reaction when he was introduced the first time. But he said before the ball game that he didn't know what to expect as far as the reaction goes. I think he was honest about it because, you know, he grew up 45 minutes away from Philadelphia, rooting for Phillies fans, and he knows as a fan what he usually did when guys came to town. Now when he fouls away, it's 0-1.
I was very impressed last night. The standing ovation he got when he stepped in that batter's box. But like you said, he is playing against the Phillies.
Right.
So the second at bat, the third at bat, the boos got a little louder and louder as it go. You want to see him succeed, but you don't want him to see him beat this team.
No, he had one hit last night in 5 at bats. Swing and a miss at a breaking ball, 0-2. So many fantastic stories written by the Philadelphia scribes on Mike Trout leading into and also after yesterday's ball game. 0-2 pitch to Trout. Down and away, and it's 1 ball and 2 strikes.
I went down and talked to him today during just before they were stretching, and I said, has it been a busy couple of days? He goes, last night wasn't so bad. He said today was unbelievable. People coming up to visit, him going around meeting people, talking, going out to an early breakfast. But he says it's been a great time to come back.
I think that's why he said that he wished it was a 4-game series, because he could have spread all those appearances and those handshakes out during the 4 days.
Yeah, and you want to do as much as possible when you come back, especially coming back for your first time, and it's a short 2-game series. I remember going back to Toronto, and everyone wants to get a piece of you. They want you to go here and do the radio interviews, and you just try to spread it out. And he did a tremendous job for 2 days to get it all in.
He's behind 1 ball and 2 strikes, and Burnett gets him to offer. They'll appeal, and no swing, says Brian Honora. And it's 2-2. Trout leads the American League in strikeouts with 48. Swing and a miss. He's down on strikes, 2 away. He was trying to get that outer edge, and he finally got it.
Yeah, this is one thing we've seen about AJ. When he falls in love with one certain pitch, that's a tremendous curveball low and away out of the zone. He'll start throwing that. He throws that knuckle curveball. He gets a tighter spin and the big drop to it, and hit the outside corner for a nice pitch.
Well, 2 outs, and here comes Albert Pujols. Pujols sitting .260, 10 home runs. That's 26 runs batted in. 1 ball and no strikes. Pujols is 1 for 21 on this road trip. Pujols hits it toward right field. Bird on the run. He's not going to get there. It'll drop for a base hit. And Pujols is on his way to second, and he'll stop there, although Marlin did have trouble picking it up. Albert does not run all that well. So that's his 10th double of the year. And he's in scoring position now for Raul Ibanez.
This is one of the things that's so tough with Albert Pujols. He's so hard to defend because that's a fastball that's inside and he gets beat and he drives it down the right field corner. And it's just a ball that was up in the zone and came back a little bit, but he's one of the hardest guys to defend. Him and Pudge Rodriguez was another guy that was very hard to defend.
Oh, nice round of applause for Raul Ibanez. And the normal Raul that was so evident during his 3 seasons here in Philadelphia. Raul hitting just 139 with 3 home runs and 18 runs batted in. As far as hitters with 100 at bats or more, he has the lowest average in Major League Baseball at this point. You see what he did as a member of the Phillies. He was solid. There was one stretch where he struggled offensively, but then all of a sudden something clicked and he found his swing again. And not only was he a solid replacement for Pat Burrell, because it was tough to replace Pat Burrell on so many fronts, but he was a great guy to have in that clubhouse too. Breaking ball in there. It's 1 ball and 2 strikes.
I'll never forget the series we were having here, and started swinging the bat well, and he says, I'm starting to feel pretty good, Matt. I said, okay, good. We went into New York, and every ball he hit was in the right center bullpen, and he was just getting in that groove of swinging it. He's so humble, and he'll look at you and slap you and put his head down, and he can't look you in the eye, really, and he's really a true a great teammate to have on.
That one's floated out toward right field. Bird's on the run. He's not going to get there. It'll drop for a base hit. Pujols will score. And Ibanez has an RBI single, and the Angels take an early 1-0 lead. So 19 RBIs now for Ibanez. So Pujols' 2-out double, followed by Ibanez's bloop single to right.
Carrera dice encima en la segunda base. Lanzamiento viene. Elevado hacia el bloque derecho. Profundo. Está buscando Martínez. Atrás. ¡Esa pelota! ¡Nos regresa! Raúl Ibáñez.
It was a huge swing during that series. Danny Martinez and Ricky Ricardo on the call. Yeah, the first pitch is a strike to Eric Ibar. Ibar did not play last night. He's been batting a little leadoff for the Angels, but now he is hitting in the 5-hole, and he's hitting .274 with a couple home runs, 18 runs batted in. Oh, and 2 to Ibar. Ibanez goes. The pitch is taken low. The throw to second, not in time, and it goes into center field. And Ibanez with his second stolen base of the year. I have to admit, I was surprised that he was going on that one. They appeal the swing, and no swing, says the third base umpire Marvin Hudson.
Well, and what happens a lot of times with the guys who aren't expected to steal bases, you just kind of get in a rhythm of a certain 1001, 1002 count, and Raul probably was counting how many seconds he was holding, and decided to take off.
Remarkable that even if it was a clean throw, he was safe. Got such a good jump. So now he's in scoring position. The count is 1-2 to Eric Ibar. And he hits it foul. Remains 1 ball and 2 strikes. Ibar now in his 9th year in the Angels, with the Angels big club. A lifetime .277 hitter. Breaking ball just a bit outside. 2-2. This has all of a sudden turned out to be a long inning pitch count wise for A.J. Burnett. Last night, Ryan Sandberg got 7 innings out of Cliff Lee. And Cliff allowed the 4 unearned runs. Three-2 pitch. That one's hit foul down the right field line. And the count remains 3-2. Brian Onora waited, looked, and now he goes to the mark where the ball hit. Now that is reviewable. In case anybody's wondering, anything beyond the bags is reviewable. Give Brian Anora credit. He was keeping his eyes on the ball and trying to get out of the way, all in the same motion. But that was the right call by that replay right there. Check swing. Did he go? Yes, says the third base umpire. And the side is retired. 2 strikeouts in the inning for A.J. Burnett. However, the Angels take a 1-0 lead on the RBI single by Raul Ibanez. Middle of the first. It's the Angels 1. And the Phillies coming up for the first time this afternoon. Smiles on this day game. Let's take a look at the starting lineup for the Phils, brought to you by Xfinity, your home for the most live sports. Leading it off at center field, Ben Revere. Jimmy Rollins bats second, then Chase Utley and Ryan Howard. Marlon Bird's in right field, he'll bat fifth. Dominic Brown hits sixth. Carlos Ruiz does the catching, he'll hit seventh. Cody Ashley back in there, batting eighth, and batting ninth and pitching is A.J. Burnett. And they'll face right-hander Garrett Richards, former first-round pick in 2009, making his 8th start of the year, 3-0. with a 2.80 earned run average. And youngster or not, and he has major league experience, but youngster or not, those are really good numbers.
Yeah, they really are. And he's almost like a Kevin Brown type. He throws 94 to 97 miles an hour, has a very good slider and an overhand 12-6 curveball. He likes to live at the top of the strike zone, and he can get away with it with 97.
See, 42nd pick back in 2009 for the Angels. How about getting Trout with the 25th pick and Richards with the 42nd pick? Now, who knows what Richards will become, but at least this first month and a half of the season, it looks like he's evolving into a very good starting pitcher. 1 ball and 1 strike to Ben Revere. Revere 1 for 4 last night with a run scored. Ben is tied for 4th in the National League with singles. He has 35. He still does not have a double. He has 2 triples, but still does not have a double. Tapper back to the box. An underhand toss, 1 out here in the bottom of the first. And that'll bring Jimmy Rollins to the plate. Rollins comes to the plate today with 2,210 hits for his career. He's 1 away from tying Ed Delahanty for 3rd place all-time in Phillies franchise history. He's 25 away from Mike Schmidt and the all-time hits lead, as the pitch is taken outside. 1 ball and no strikes. Rollins had one of those nights last night where he just didn't see the ball. He was 0 for 4 with 3 strikeouts.
And at times that happens after a day off. They played in New York. You swing the bat well, and sometimes as a hitter, you hate to have a day off. You want to continue going with the streak, and I don't know why it is. Sometimes it takes you a while to get back in that rhythm.
At the knees, 1 ball and 2 strikes. The Lucky McDonald's Phillies home run jackpot contestant is Mindy Simone, Berlin, New Jersey. If the Phillies hit a home run in today's ball game, then Mindy will win $300. Curveball lined the opposite way on one hop. Ibar stumbles on the outfield grass, but still is able to throw Rollins out. 2 away. Strong arm.
Yeah, and Jimmy does a nice job hitting this ball in the hole there, but what made the easier play for him was the ball was hit so hard that he had a chance to stumble playing and still throw Jimmy out at first base pretty easily.
And now Chase Utley is the batter. Utley was 1 for 3 last night, was hit by a pitch. 3rd consecutive game that Utley has been hit by a pitch. There's a strike, and it's 0-1.
I'm not real sure if I'd want this streak to continue getting hit by a pitch for a guy that throws 96 or 97 miles an hour.
Oh, 0-2. All right, I got to correct myself. It's 4 straight games that he's been hit by a pitch. Now that's painful. No balls and 2 strikes to Utley. Outside, 1-2. And Utley pulls it toward the alley in right center field, and a diving attempt on Navarro. He can't get it. It's going to go to the scoreboard. Utley's around second, thinking about 3, but he stops. Can't make that first or third out at third base. And now he's in scoring position for Ryan Howard. Matt, I never played the outfield on the major league level or any other level for that matter, but he dove and he was nowhere near this ball.
That was a dive there that he knew he had no chance, but that's why you have a lot of communication in the outfield. The right fielders usually say, I will go in front, you back me up, and I'll go for every ball that I can. He probably realized he can't cut it off in the gap, so he figured make it look good. At least he tried.
Well, he's fortunate that Mike Trout was there to back up and hold Utley to a double. So Chase is in scoring position. Ryan Howard's coming up. Howard had an RBI in last night's ball game. He hit it right where Utley is right now. And he takes a breaking ball, and it's 0-1. Howard 7 home runs, 22 runs batted in. Really does have some downward movement on that fastball at a good tempo.
A lot of times you just tell the catcher to set up right in the middle of the plate, call for the sinker, and just let it tail away. A lot of times the guy will sit on the corner for a sinker, and his ball moves so much, he has a hard time controlling it, especially way to left-handers. So interesting to see how they set up tonight against with him.
Swing and a miss. Howard is struck out. Conger will pick it out of the dirt. And the side is retired. No runs, 1 hit, and 1 man left. We've played our first inning here at Citizens Bank Park. We've go to the second. It's 1-0 Angels on top. Reds, it's the start of a 3-game series, 7:05. It's Irish Heritage Night. And then on Sunday at 1:35, first pitch, a Citizens Bank Fanatic birthday. Free Fanatic Fun Glasses for fans 14 and under. Get your tickets now by going to Phillies.com. To the second inning, it's 1-0 Angels on top. It'll be Hank Conger, Grant Green, and Luis Jimenez. Conger takes low and in, 1 and no strikes. Conger did not play last night. Let's see what his numbers are as a starter. He has 10 hits in his last 27 at bats. He's also a former first-round pick back in 2006. They've had some productive first-round picks. Swing and a miss, 1-2. Out towards center field. Revere got a late jump. It's going to drop in front of him anyway. There was no way he would have gotten that. And Conger's aboard with a leadoff single. Little bloop out over second. Yeah, that'll bring Grant Green to the plate. Off day tomorrow. Ryan Sandberg has basically played the same lineup. Difference tonight or today is A.J. Burnett instead of Cliff Lee. A lot of times, night game and day game, you'll see a totally different lineup like the Angels have today.
Yeah, plus you'd hate to see 2 days in a row off with your starters. Day off for a day game, you give them off today, and tomorrow's an off day as well before Cincinnati comes in. And sometimes hitters really struggle, even though you might need a break to give your body some rest, but hitters will really struggle to find their timing again. And I'm not sure if it's because your body gets that extra rest and now you're back to being strong again. I found when I was tired, I had a better swing because I didn't try to do too much.
Down the right field, and that's going to drop in front of Bird. Conger will stop at second, and just like that, the Angels have runners on first and second with nobody out. And that'll bring Luis Jimenez to the plate. Let's check in with Murph. Murph?
All right, thanks a lot, Tom. Well, obviously, over these 2 games, there's been a lot of talk about Mike Trout returning home. But, there are some other Angels that have some ties to Philadelphia, notably the manager, Mike Scioscia, of course, who grew up in the Upper Darby area. So he is the subject of our Coors Light Cold Hard Fact, brought to you by Frost Brewed Coors Light. And he is one of 14 managers in baseball history to guide the same team for at least 15 seasons, and just the 5th to do it since 1975. Guys like Lasorda, Bobby Cox, Sparky Anderson on that list. So he is in very good company, and he has done a very good job with the LA Angels over the course of his tenure. It's not an easy job, and certainly not an easy one to keep for that long of a period of time. So Mike Scioscia has been able to do that.
2-time manager of the year out of Springfield High School. Graduated at Springfield High School in 1976. Played high school baseball for the great Ace Bell. Played in the Giants organization. Ace even played in this area, played in Trenton, New Jersey, and played with the same year that Willie Mays played in Trenton. Bob Brookover from the Inquirer wrote a story a few years ago, several years ago, on Mike Scioscia, and Ace Bell said that Mike Scioscia was in high school. There was no doubt in his mind that he would become a professional ball player. And then Mike said, I may have had some skills, and I'm paraphrasing, but it was Ace's ability and his experience that helped me become, a draftable ball player. Always had the reputation as the catcher who blocked the plate better than anybody else.
He got me.
Did he?
Yes, he did. Spring training game, I came around trying to score from second base. Throw from right field, thought I had a easy slide into home plate. And he had a tendency not to block it with one leg. He would turn and drop both knees right in front of home plate. And Felipe Alou says, next time he does that, you go feet first at his head, he'll never do it again.
Well, with 1 out, here's Garrett Richards. Richards up for the first time in today's ball game. 0 for 2 this year, 0 for 4 in his career as a hitter. And he tries to sacrifice, takes a breaking ball for a strike. It's 0-1. Richards taking a long look at Gary DiSarcina in the third base coach's box. Signs went a little too fast for Garrett.
I'm not really sure why they go through signs for the pitcher until you get 2 strikes. Put the bunt on until you get 2 strikes, then maybe I might change it.
Well, he wanted him to show bunt and then take a hack.
He should have stuck to the bunt.
Tap at the top of his helmet. Is that still a signal saying I got the sign? Is that?
You usually see that for a steal. Either that or a tug on the belt, but.
Takes outside. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Well, they must be confident that he can handle the bat.
Kind of interesting that they go through all these signs over and over and over. Usually there's an area where you can touch your helmet or your glove or whatever you're going to do at third base for a repeat. And if I do something different with another hand, then it's off and go ahead and swing. But this is slowing down quite a bit.
He bunts at it and he misses. He is rung up for the 4th strikeout. for A.J. Burnett. So 2 away. Back to the top of the order for Efrain Navarro. Navarro was retired by Burnett his first time up. He's 0 for 1. No strikes. Conger is on second, excuse me, led off with a single. Grant Green's over at first. Angels lead 1-0 thanks to an RBI single by Raul Ibanez in the top of the first. Inside 2-0.
I gotta believe Navarro's, I don't know if maybe one of his favorite players is a guy from Colorado, Cargo, the center fielder, because they pretty much have the identical stance.
Very similar.
High
Very
hand,
similar.
straight up.
I'm sure he hopes that he has the same kind of results too as his career moves on. But you are right. It is similar. Trio pitch is taken for a strike. It's 3 balls and 1 strike. Navarro was selected in the 50th round by the Angels out of UNLV. He's leading off today with Trout batting second. Runners will be off on this pitch with the count 3 balls and 2 strikes as Burnett tries to battle back from allowing 2 hits to begin the inning. Neither runner being held on. Runners go, and the pitch is hit back toward the middle. A base hit into center field. Around third, heading for home is Conger, and he'll score. So it's 2-0 Angels on an RBI single by Navarro. And now first and third for Mike Trout, who's coming to the plate. Well, that's already 5 hits for the Angels in the first couple of innings of today's game.
And this is where I thought AJ and them went the well too many times. That's 3 times in a row. 3 consecutive pitches inside with that front door sinker. And that's what we talked about, making adjustments. And that's what he did right there. But AJ's been having a hard time today so far with that fastball spotting it. Seems like it's moving a little too much more. I don't know if he's overthrowing it. But he actually has a very nice curveball today. Interesting to see. I thought maybe a back foot slider there would have been good.
Well, he got Trout last time on strikes. Trout is now 1 for 6 in this series. And that one's lined towards center field. That's a bullet. And it turned Revere around, but he made the catch. Wow, did he have to react quickly because that ball was on him in a hurry. 1 run, 3 hits, and 2 men left. And Ben Revere athletic enough to spin around and still reel in the ball. Phillies top sports writers talk about the Phils-Angels series and the Eagles' upcoming rookie minicamp on Phillies Sports Talk, presented by Comcast Business on Comcast Sportsnet. How about this swing by Mike Trout? Bam!
Well, that ball was down. Everyone talked about how such a good low ball hitter he was. And that ball Rivera made the center field the play. That ball caught him, actually.
I don't know if he was saying, how did you see that ball? Marlon Byrd will lead it off here in the second. So the Phillies are down 2-0. And Byrd facing Richards for the first time. Marlon hitting .303 with 4 home runs and 23 runs batted in. And a breaking ball, 1 ball and 1 strike. Broke his bat. That ball skipped right out into the crowd. Nice pick by that gentleman right there. One and 2 to Marlon Byrd. Foul. Marlon seems like he's getting closer to that fastball. You wonder if he'll get something a little different here.
That's also a good pitch, a fastball to come in a little farther. You got 2 foul balls. Go ahead, just spin there a little farther and see if they can jam it, but maybe the curveball.
And it's lofted on the right side. Pujols is under it. Yeah, there's 1 out here in the second. And that'll bring Dominic Brown to the plate. Dominic was 1 for 3 in last night's ball game with a triple. And as you mentioned last night, Matt, Ryan Sandberg even talked about this last night. Dominic Brown had some really aggressive swings, and it looked like his timing was better last night than it's been for most of this year.
Yeah, and that's because he's starting earlier, and that's the key. The key with Dominic this year is his front hip, and if he can learn to turn that toe in just a hair, it'll lock you in a position to where your leg lifts up, and it comes down at ease. Where instead of starting that motorcycle, your foot goes up, goes down so quick. But you can tell his body's slowing down. He's staying in that low crouch. Just make sure when you stay in that, start that crouch, you have to stay in it. You can't come out of it.
Pulls that one on the ground to the right side. It's a big, easy hop for Green. And there are 2 outs. Los Angeles Dodgers, will be here Memorial Day weekend at Citizens Bank Park. Friday, May 23rd is a 7:05 first pitch. Sunday, the 25th. All fans 14 and under, thanks to Louisville Slugger, will receive the Ryan Sandberg plastic Louisville Slugger. Tickets can be purchased at Phillies.com. The International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers, Local 98, will sponsor the bat giveaway. Here's Carlos. Carlos sends one in the air to center field. Playable for Trout. And the Phillies go down in order here in the second. So 4 in a row retired by Richards. That was a 9-pitch inning. We've completed 2. We go to the 3rd here in Philadelphia. The Angels 2, Phillies nothing. Go to the fan section for all the information, and please submit your answer on the subject line. All right, Matt, the question is, what two pitchers hold the Angels' single-season record for wins with 22? Answer will be revealed a little later on. Now, that could be your toughest question of the year. You may get one right off the bat, but it's going to be interesting to see if you're able to roll out two. As we go to the top of the third, Albert Pujols will lead it off. And Phillies assistant general manager Scott Profrock has been nice enough to join us up here in the booth. Do you have any idea who holds the Angels record for wins, the two pitchers, Scott?
Well, I'd say one was probably Nolan Ryan and maybe Frank Tanana. Those might be two guesses.
All right, we'll put those guesses into the bin. And if you have any of those right, we'll come over and ring the bell in your booth when we do it.
And also, when you go downstairs, if you want to Google and send me a text and let me know, I'll accept it.
Happily.
Well, it's a swing and a miss. It's 1 ball, 1 strike. All right, so Phil's are down 2-0 at this point. AJ's battled a little bit these first couple of innings. I know that you had a lot to do with AJ coming to the Phillies. He's had a very good start to the 2014 season, even with the hernia problem.
Yeah, I mean, he's continued, basically what he did the last couple of years with Pittsburgh. When we first talked about it, when I first saw him at the end of the season last year, he basically told me that, he didn't want to play. It was done. And I told him, well, whatever you want to do, I understand. You want to be with the boys and Karen. And, he coached the basketball team. Matt wanted me to be the assistant coach. And I told him, well, the season runs, into spring training. And I'm going to have to leave. And, I figured that was the end of it. He was going to make that commitment to them and be there through the end because it ran through the beginning of March. And, right around the end, I kept asking him, if you ever change your mind, let me know. And didn't say anything. And about the middle to end of January, his agent, Derek Broniker, called me and said, AJ's going to want to talk to you after you're done tonight. And pretty good pitch. We sat down. I went over to the house and sat down and talked for a couple hours and, started the ball rolling with getting him to Philadelphia. So, I was excited to have him, and I know his family's excited to have him close by, and so far so good.
The ball's hit foul down the left field line, so it remains 3-2. Well, I think the marriage is good because, like, let's say today after the game, he can go home. It's not too far, and get a chance to enjoy the family for a day too. Yeah,
he went home. He went home Sunday and was there spent 2 nights at home, and he'll do the same thing with the off day tomorrow as well. So it's very convenient, and I know the family's happy about it as well.
Well, ball players get a little antsy about the end of January, wanting to get back into that spring training area, especially you've done it for so many years.
Well, and he told me he'd been throwing. There was a couple of guys locally that he's thrown with in the past, and he kept doing it. So I think it was in the back of his mind that if he did change his mind, he needed to be prepared and not fall behind. I know he came to spring training a little bit late, but obviously hasn't missed a beat.
Well, Matt, I know you went through that during the end of your career. Part of you wants to keep playing. The other part of you wants to, get a chance to enjoy your family a little bit after you've played for so many years. And I think AJ went through kind of that same stuff, right, Scott?
Absolutely.
See his numbers: 149 wins during his major league career. It's 3 balls and 2 strikes to Albert Pujols. Got a little bit of a battle going on here with Pujols, who doubled his first time up. And that one is rocketed into left field, a base hit. So Pujols is 2 for 2. And that'll bring Raul Ibanez to the plate. So a 9-pitch at bat for Albert Pujols results in his second hit of the afternoon. Scott, we see Cody Ashley over at third base today. Obviously, he had a rough night last night defensively. Matt and I were talking before, and I think Matt brought up the point even before the lineup was posted that he was hoping that he'd be back out there again, just to get a chance to cleanse his soul and get a chance to get some opportunities.
Absolutely. I mean, I think he's a young player, and he's going to have ups and downs, and he needs to know that we have faith in him and run him right back out there and give him another opportunity to make up for it.
Ibanez takes low, 1 ball, no strikes.
Speaking of Franco, have you seen a different approach, or has he changed anything? He's had a tremendous month. Has anything gone better with his swing?
You know, Matt, I really haven't seen him. I'm going to go up to Lehigh, tomorrow, watch him play and watch him on TV a little bit. And he's been swinging the bat better, but I really haven't a lot to compare to. I know he's getting a lot more hits and swinging the bat. He's playing good defense, but I think there's still more progress that needs to be made before we make any kind of decision on whether or not he's ready to play up here.
Yeah, Michael Franco has seemingly been a slow starter. Now that the weather's warmed up a little bit, so has his average, his power numbers, all those things. Now, when you get a chance to go out to, let's say, Lehigh Valley, are you looking at anything specifically, or are you just sort of gauging or taking a temperature of the players and how they're moving on the fields?
Well, I mean, I don't get to go out all that often. I mean, because I'm either traveling with the team or we're at home. So when I do, I mean, I'm just trying to touch base with the staff and get some feedback from them and let the players know that we're paying attention and because of the proximity of the clubs that people are following up on what they're doing and keeping track of them and they know that we're watching.
3 balls and no strikes to Raul Ibanez with a runner at first. Nobody out here in the top of the third. There's ball 4, so Ibanez works out a walk. And that'll bring Eric Ibar to the plate. Speaking of Ibanez, it's time for our Geico quote of the day. And it comes from Raul. Raul talking about what drives him. It's still fun to play and to compete. The competitive part of it on a daily basis is the part that drives me. But getting back to the moment and wanting to celebrate out there, be the team celebrating, the last team standing, of course, that's what you play for. And Raul, kind of like A.J. Burnett, still sticking around the competitive part of the game, seeking that opportunity to win a world championship, which A.J. has done, and Raul was still hoping to do. Raul was a big piece of the Phillies puzzle here for 3 years.
Absolutely, and he's a great teammate, and gave us some really good seasons.
Ben Revere unable to get to that one as it hits into the gap. Pujols is around third, heading for home. Ibanez will be held at third. The throw to the plate, not cut off. It's an RBI double, and it's 3-0. The Angels on top as Eric Ibar doubles to center field. It's his 10th double of the season. And it puts runners on second and third.
This is one of the things we've been talking about earlier about his fastball. It's a must on the location inside the left-handers and just tailed back over towards the middle and stayed up in the zone. And Ibar put a nice easy swing on it, drove it to right center.
So Pujols has scored a couple runs today. Bob McClure out to the mound to talk to A.J. Burnett. And that'll bring Hank Conger to the plate. Conger singled and scored his last time up. Let's see what the Phillies decide to do here. Chase Utley's looking to the dugout to see how they want to line up the defense. You got Ibanez over at third and Ibar at second. And it looks like the right side's going to be in a little bit. Now everybody else is going to move in. They're going to be in halfway. Swing and a miss, and it's no balls and 1 strike. Scott, we heard the other day that Freddie Galvis came down with an injury on a play at Lehigh Valley. Any update on his status and what may happen?
They just officially put him on the DL today, and he was seen by a doctor here in Philadelphia yesterday, and I believe that from what I've heard, he was going to have a plate put in.
Okay.
But so he's going to miss some significant time.
He has had some really odd injuries and situations occur in his professional career. It's really unfortunate. 1 ball and 1 strike to Conger.
He's definitely an important piece, because of his defense and his instincts for the game. He's, obviously we sent him down to try to get himself straightened out at the bat, and unfortunately, with the incident, that's not going to be able to happen for a while. So
2-1 the count to Conger.
I thought he carried himself up here very well, despite struggling in the batter's box. I don't think it really affected him defensively. He had a couple of maybe a lack of communications with the shift, but no, hats off. He struggled extremely bad offensively, and I thought he went out and played a good part of defense. And it's a shame that now he has a chance to go down to get some at-bats and get some confidence, and he comes up with his injury. It's a little setback for him, that's for sure.
Yeah, I agree with you, Matt. He definitely did not take his struggles at the plate out to the field, no matter where we put him.
3-1 now to Conger. So tough spot for Burnett. First base is open. Nobody out here in the third. And a breaking ball in there. It's 3-2. Now Cesar Hernandez has come back, and I know he's gotten a chance to play many different positions down in Reading. How's his progress been, Scott? I know
good. I mean, you know, it was a little bit of a surprise to him when we sent him down to Double-A. But once we explained to him why we were sending him down there, you know, to play third base, play some shortstop, and you know, continue to play second base as well, because we need him as a utility player, and because of his bat and the speed that he has, and how he would fit on the major league club. And he went down there like a pro and you know, hit just as we would have expected him to, but also made a lot of progress at short and third base, where, you know, I think we feel comfortable that he can come up here and fill in as needed.
Fast progress too at shortstop. You know, getting a chance to play there a little bit more, but made fast progress at shortstop.
Yep. I mean, all the reports were very positive that you know, he's not going to you know, embarrass us when put him out in either one of those positions other than second base.
Count is full to Conger with runners on second and third. And that ball's in the dirt, ball 4, so the bases are now loaded. And Grant Green is going to come to the plate. See the pitches by inning for AJ. By the way, how did your basketball team do, you and AJ?
Well, we ended up making it to the finals of the losers bracket. So really, the semifinals of the tournament. Actually, they got on a run after we left. Some of the other dads took over, and AJ snuck back one time for one of the playoff games that they won, but we weren't able to get back timing-wise, you know, for the last couple of games, and they ended up losing in the finals of the losers bracket.
Well, if you want to coach again, Matt may be looking for an assistant hockey coach at some point if you want to do that. Matt, you got any ideas for Scott as far as coaching goes?
I'm still looking for some from when I coach.
Swing and a miss. It's 0-2. AJ trying to get through this. Bases loaded. Nobody out. 1 run in. It's 3-0. Angels on top. And Grant Green, who singled his first time up, singled to right field his first time up. And a dribbler foul. It remains no balls and 2 strikes. Scott, I know you're you know front and back the rules of the game from a contract standpoint, from waiver wires. Speaking of rules and new things in the game, what are your thoughts on instant replay as you've watched these first 6 weeks of the season?
I wish a few of the calls had gone our way a little more often, but you know, I think it's the right thing to do, and I think it has some you know, some difficult aspects to it, you know, but I think that ultimately they'll get it right, and the goal is the right thing, to get the calls right. And I think in general, you know, what's happened is it's shown that you know, the umpires are human, but I think it's also shown that they do a pretty good job as well.
I think we saw last night that was the first time that 2 challenges went against the team that challenged it. Angels early, and then the Phillies later on in the ballgame. That was the first time. We've seen a lot of firsts, but that was the first time for that. And a called strike 3, 1 away here in the third. Out of the outside part of the plate. 5 strikeouts now for AJ. And Jimenez is coming to the plate.
This is where Chuchi just set up on the outside for a fastball, and he throws that backdoor sinker for getting Green to look for a strike 3. I found it very interesting. I heard today that Buck Showalter has only made 2 challenges the whole year.
Well, that's remarkable.
I thought he'd be about 200 right now.
Well, I think they had one last night in their game that went against him. At least from watching the game online, Rajai Davis, I think, was originally thrown out, stealing second base in the 9th inning, and then I was just watching online, and it looked like the little dot popped back up on second base after the challenge, and that led to the implosion in the 9th inning.
Outside, 2 balls and no strikes. I know you're going to Lehigh Valley, as you said, tomorrow, and you can't always dictate whether a guy is going to appear or not, but are you interested to see how Giles has progressed in person?
Yeah, I mean, I think, again, we saw him in spring training, and obviously went to AA and dominated there. It's every step along the way is important in the development process, and I think the most important thing with both him and a guy like Franco is to have them be ready that when they get here they stay here.
Well, Cody Ashley, as we said, had a tough night last night. He just made a fine play right there, a double play. Scott, thanks for coming on. We appreciate it. We wish you the best of luck in your basketball coaching career as it moves forward. And we thank you for joining us.
Absolutely.
Phillies are down 3-0. We'll be back with coffee is just $1. McDonald's. I'm loving it. Buy WB Mason. You can't go wrong when you buy right. And buy Dodge. Visit Dodge.com for your local dealers today. Well, Tony Luke's here at the ballpark. And Chickies and Pete's. Get your crab fries. Makes you know what you want to do tomorrow, Matt, during your off day.
Sleeping.
Well, we go to the bottom of the 3rd. The Phillies are trying to wake up their offense. It's Cody Ashley, A.J. Burnett, and then Ben Revere. Mario Hollins had been up in the bullpen warming for the Phils, but A.J.'s coming out of the on-deck circle. Cody 0 for 3 last night, and he takes low, 1 ball and no strikes. Nice play by Cody Ashley to wrap up that inning, because he had to step back to the third base bag and then make the throw.
Yeah, I was watching to see if he was going to come up and try to make that throw to home again. Then he fielded it clean, took a step back on at third base and made a strong throw to first base. And you could see that AJ was happy, giving them, the fist bump, saying nice job. That's one thing you especially early in the game today, you want to get a ground ball. You want to make that play, and you want to get all those negative thoughts out of your mind.
It was a tough night, as he even said, and we documented in the open. But he was aggressive on this one. The ball kind of came up on him too.
It did. It came up and hit him in the heel, and he didn't panic. He got to third base and planted and made a strong throw to first base. You know, and we talked about it last night. Is it going to be the last time? Probably not. It's happened to everybody. That's just, thank goodness he's not playing in Japan, because they would have took him out in the middle of an inning. And the reason why I know that is because I went over there in 1993 playing third base, made it there in my first inning. Threw it probably about 18 rows deep. Bottom of the inning came up, got a base hit. So, all right, I'm 1 for 1. I made it there and I got a hit. Next inning, I made it there. Sure enough, the manager called time, came out, took me out in the middle of the inning.
How'd that go over?
Not very well. Let's just put
and did that happen, not with you, but did that happen often?
All the time.
Really?
All the time. And especially if guys in the outfield thought they had a chance to get to the ball and they didn't make the play, manager would call time and end up putting you out in the outfield. And it was actually the first time in my career I was put in for late inning defense because I had the stronger arm. So I would move from left field for a right-handed hitter. Then all of a sudden, if a left-handed hitter come up, they'd call time. It moved me from left to right field.
That's pretty interesting.
It's real interesting when I got to run from left to right all the time and get in shape.
Yeah, but you were in fighting shape then. 1993?
Oh, yeah.
You were at the apex of your career.
I had an ab back then.
1 ball and 1 strike to A.J. Burnett. Burnett 4 for 15 on the season. 1-2.
So that's my little Japanese playing in that league.
That's a great story.
Shinichi Dragons. But Mr. Baseball was filmed.
Tom Selleck.
Yes, sir.
With the dirt to it, too. Now, that wasn't based on your year over there, was it? Mr. Baseball? With Tom Selleck?
No. No, I was luckily ahead of my contract that I didn't have to do the pregame running. And I mean, they would go home at nighttime and take literally 100 dry swings in the mirror, practicing their swing.
Dedication.
It is.
Swing and a miss, and Burnett is struck out. So that's the second strikeout for Garrett Richards. Go back to the top of the order for Ben Revere. Let's check in with Murph. Murph?
All right, Tom. Well, we want to remind folks that the Phillies Fantastic Auction is still going on live at Phillies.com right now. Some great experiences and collectibles. How about some items closing today at 3 o'clock? So 3 o'clock today, your last chance to bid on broadcast an inning with Larry Anderson and Scott Fransky, if you so dare. Complete set of Phillies championship flags at Citizens Bank Park and a private hitting clinic with Ryan Howard. It's your last chance today, so check it all out on Phillies.com.
All right, Murph, we appreciate that. 45 minutes left with those items. There were a lot of cool events that were taking place last year. The Phillies are building on those events even this year with the items and the opportunities that you can bid on. How's the hockey game going with you, Matt? Well, we'll have to talk about that later on because Ben Revere has just grounded out to finish up the third. 1 hit for the Phils through 3. We'll go to the fourth. The Angels lead the Phillies 3-0. Brewers from WB Mason, an HP preferred partner. We go to the top of the fourth. Phillies trail at 3-0. And A.J. Burnett will go back to work against Garrett Richards. And then the top of the order. Bull's Barbecue is in full bloom here this afternoon. One of the great spots here at Citizens Bank Park. It has been for quite a long time. They have a lot of the same original items from their menu, and they've added to it over the years. It is outstanding. It's located out in right field. And many days, Bull is out there. Get his autograph, take a picture with him. The turkey sandwich, the roast beef sandwich, and of course the ribs, just outstanding. Got a little bit of a delay because the second base bag, they're going to have to dig it out a little bit. And before they put it back, Matt, earlier in the game we had that line drive down the first base line. And we mentioned that Brian Onora made a great call and stayed with it. Really did a great job because the ball was heading toward him. And I said that that was a reviewable play. And I have to correct myself. It's only a reviewable play if it gets to the outfield grass. Anything on the infield dirt beyond the first or third base bag is not a reviewable play. If it gets to the outfield grass, then it is reviewable. So make sure we correct that, because as we've said before, a lot of this stuff we know the foundation of the rules, but there's still a little bit of stuff that we have to make sure that we're clear on as Rollins takes care of Garrett Richards. So one out, and Navarro's coming up. It'll give Richards a chance to get back to the dugout. We've tried to be right on with the new rules, not only with blocking the plate, but also with instant replay. It's going to get to the point where everybody who's a baseball fan or is involved in baseball can reel it off the top of their head without any issues. It has been very successful since it was implemented fully this year, as Navarro takes a strike. It's 0-1.
And it'll be interesting to see at the end of the season any tweaks they have to do towards the instant replay and the situation at home plate, just to confirm everything. And the nice thing about it is you haven't had a whole lot of managers kicked out of the games this year, and they've gone out under control. And the manager has stayed in the game, but maybe 3 or 4 ejections this year. That's probably about it.
It's been limited. The only time that Ryan Sandberg said that he probably would have been ejected was not a instant replay situation. It was more a play at the plate, whether the catcher had blocked or didn't block the plate or leave a path. As Burnett takes care of Navarro.
But you know, one thing we haven't seen is any collisions at all. And you're allowed to still plow into the catcher. Because once the catcher receives the ball, my understanding, once he receives the ball, he can block home plate.
He could block home plate, but you still have to slide feet first.
That's boring.
It's all part of the evolution of it.
Well, I stand corrected.
Here's Mike Trout. He's 0 for 2. He is struck out and flied out to center. I should say lined out to center in 3 seconds. One ball, no strikes to Trout. The outside corner, 3-1.
I believe Mike Trout is an Albert Pujols fan because his batting gloves has Pujols on the name.
Maybe Albert was in a giving mood today, or maybe Mike didn't pack enough. Low ball 4, and he's aboard for the first time. Now the Toyota Major League scoreboard. The Tigers are shutting out the Orioles 5-0. Miguel Cabrera has 2 RBIs. And in the Central, the Tigers 5.5-game lead over the Kansas City Royals. They're the only team that's above 500. The Tigers are at 23-12. Jim Leo, I heard an interview with him the other day. He was honored in Detroit this past weekend, and he said that Miguel Cabrera, as far as he's concerned, is the best opposite field hitter that he's ever seen in the game.
The best opposite field hitter.
Opposite field power hitter.
Edgar Martinez was pretty good. He had a tremendous swing for the Seattle Mariners, hitting the ball to right field as well. Mike Sweeney, but Miguel Cabrera is one of the top opposite field hitters, that's for sure.
Trout goes, pitches swung on and missed. The throw to second is not in time. And that's his 5th stolen base of the year.
Well, Trout had a tremendous jump, and the thing about him is he explodes as he's going into the base. Toots made a very nice throw, but jumped it in there pretty easy.
So Burnett now is about to throw his 90th pitch of the day. Carlos keeps it close. 1 ball and 2 strikes now to Pujols. At this point, the way Richards is throwing, every run the Phillies can stop from scoring is important, because the Angels have already scored the 3 on 7 hits, and the Phillies have managed only 1 hit today. That young man has kept the ball down. That'll be a foul ball. It's going to get out of here fast.
That ball, on the other hand, was not down in the zone.
No.
That's what you call a good hanging curveball, because you could not keep it fair. This is just a curveball that he overthrown. It's a spinner. It's a long strike. It's a very long strike.
Now the 1-2 pitch coming again to Pujols. Ground ball to shortstop. Rollins is there. And has time. Throws across the diamond. Side is retired. No runs. No hits. 1 man left. We go to the bottom of the 4th. Angels 3, Phillies 0. sports stores. Go further. By Thomas Jefferson University Hospitals. Call 1-800-JEFF-NOW for an appointment. And by Toyota. The Toyota Time sales event is going on now. Toyota, let's go places. Well, the Kids Zone here at Citizens Bank Park. Wasn't that where Shane Victorino got stuck a couple of years ago? You may have been gone by that time. Yeah, I think he got stuck in one of those slides a few years ago. Phillies during the On Deck series would have the players and also us broadcasters go to different spots, meet and greet the fans. Well, Victorino's charge for that day was to go to the fun zone. And Shane, who's a kid at heart, decided to go down the slide, and he got stuck.
For some reason, that does not surprise me.
He made it through. He made it through, but to be placed to kind of stay busy for a little bit. 0-2 to Jimmy Rollins. Rollins is grounded out to shortstop on a fine play by Ibar. And again, the Phillies have just one hit. It was the double by Utley back in the first. Opposite way again on one hop again. And Ibar again from shallow left throws out Rollins. Second time, basically the same play. One out here in the fourth. It's now time for you to tweet your photo using hashtag PhillyFanPhoto for a chance to have it shown in an upcoming game broadcast. Brought to you by AT&T. Now Chase Utley, who doubled his first time up. Outside, 1 ball and no strikes. Outside, 2-0. Mike Trout was saying yesterday, and he said this before, that his favorite player when he was going to high school in Millville was the guy that's at the plate right now, Chase Utley. Which, if you're Chase, you're probably pretty flattered that a kid who's already a 2-time All-Star has said that you are his favorite player. And that's the reason why, in a lot of ways, what he just did up the first base line. But then you can walk away thinking, man, I'm getting up there in age. If there's a player that's in the game right now that said I was his favorite player.
Now, they said that has he ever met him before, and he said no. And I didn't get a chance to ask him if he met Chase today. I watched him yesterday, and he was kind of looking over, and Chase was doing what he does, getting ready to hit batting practice and stuff. So it'll be interesting to see that, to see if he did go up and introduce himself. But really, would you have to go up and introduce yourself? Like, hi, I'm Mike Trout?
I think that would be the appropriate thing to do if you went up and said, hi, I'm Mike Trout, member of the LA Angels.
If I was that good, I'd walk out and go, you should know who I am. Hi, Chase.
Yeah. I believe he could do that.
But I don't think he would.
He also acknowledged that he wasn't sure when he would do it because he also knows how intense Chase is. Outside, 1 ball and 1 strike to Howard. Howard struck out his first time to the plate. 2 strikeouts today for Richards. That has not been his game, the strikeout. His game today has been the groundouts. He's induced 7 ground ball outs already. lines one toward right, and that'll drop in front of Navarro. So that's the second hit for the Phils. They have a base runner with 2 men down, and it brings Marlon Byrd to the plate. Howard has now hit in 7 consecutive games with that single to right. Marlon had a couple good swings against Richards in his first at-bat, but then was retired on a pop-up to Pujols at first. He starts him off with a slider, and it's 0-1. Thinking slider here.
I'd have to think it's a right-hander now. Maybe a fastball in, just to maybe set up the next pitch, but they might want to go away with a harder slider.
They do go with the slider, and it bounced in front of the plate. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Rotation of that slider. I can understand why they're so high in this kid. The demeanor has the mound, the way his ball comes out of his hand, there's movement on his fastball. He's just not a one-pitch pitcher. He has a very good slider and a curveball.
There's that curveball, and it's 2-2. Well, you could look at his numbers. I mean, 2.80 ERA coming in. It's down to 2.59 with his 3 2/3 scoreless. He's allowed 2 earned runs or less in 5 of his starts. And plus, he's been able to go deep in every one of his outings this year. Marlon fouls it off to the right. Now to play, it remains 2-2. Are you seeing Kevin Brown, though, like Mark Langston said, or is there a little difference?
Similar, but I think that Kevin Brown has more of a turbo sinker. Kevin Brown had that hard late sinker, where Richards has more of a run. But as soon as that ball came out of Kevin Brown's hand, it had the automatic sink of getting to the home plate and almost stopping and taking a straight down turn. But I can see where they're talking about the way he's on the mound. Every pitch is max effort from the first pitch to the last pitch. But it's so hard to face a guy like this because even if you sit fastball, and you can sit fastball middle of the plate, his ball will sink a little bit or run. It'll cut in towards you, and it's hard to determine which side of the plate you want to hit on.
Howard goes, swing and a miss. It gets away from Conger. It goes back to the screen, and Bird's going to be safe at first. That'll be the 8th wild pitch of the year for Garrett Richards. He does pick up his 3rd strikeout.
You know, and I can understand why this is a slider that he wants to bury. And you're taught when you want to bury the slider, get it down below the strike zone and have them go after it. And I can understand why he'd probably have a lot of pass balls or wild pitches, sorry. Although he kind of tried to do the inside instead of using the hand turn over to block that at home plate.
Mike Butcher out to talk to the young right-hander. On Friday, May 23rd, following the Phillies and the Los Angeles Dodgers, there'll be a post-game concert featuring Marcus Schultz. Exclusive set by one of the world's most popular electronic music DJs and producers. Dance the night away at Citizens Bank Park. Go to Phillies.com/Marcus for more information and special ticket offer. 2 outs for Dominic Brown. Brown grounded out his first time up. In the dirt, 1 ball, no strikes. Change up, but it's 1-1. See if Dominic can get a hold of one here. Phillies are only down 3-0 here in the bottom of the 4th, trying to break through offensively. First time they've had 2 runners on base. 2-2, fastball. He hasn't had many of those fastballs that have been up like that.
Yeah, and that's the report we had was the fastballs are up in the zone, and a lot of guys swing through it. To me, he's a guy that works at the bottom of the zone and gets a lot of guys swinging at bad pitches in the dirt.
Dominic spoils that just to stay alive. Angels with single runs in the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd here today. The Phillies trying to scratch a run across the plate here in the 4th. Swing and a miss. He gets it with a slider, and that'll wrap up the 4th inning. No runs, 1 hit, and 2 men left. We've completed 4 here in Philadelphia. We go to the 5th. It's the Angels 3 and the Phillies nothing. The fans trivia quiz answer. All right, Matt, here's the question one more time. What 2 pitchers hold the Angels single season record for wins with 22?
I'm going to say Ryan and Weaver.
Nolan Ryan and Jeff Weaver. You are correct with Nolan Ryan. Good guess, though, with Weaver. You and Scott Profrock get a half a point. The other one was back in 1970. And I don't think, even if I gave you a hint, you would get it. It's Clyde Wright, a left-handed pitcher who won 100 games during his big league career. And 22 of those came back in 1970. I mean, I could have told you that his son played in the major leagues and may or may not have been a teammate of yours, but I don't know if Jarrett Wright was a teammate of yours. Was he at all? Ever?
Jarrett Wright.
Remember the right-handed pitcher from the Indians?
He was not a teammate. Faced him a few times.
I could have done that, but I don't think that would have opened the door for you for that answer. So log back on to Phillies.com to find out if you're a winner of a Phillies prize pack. 2 balls and 1 strike to Ibanez. Inside 3-1. Raul singled in the first inning. That gave the Angels a 1-0 lead. And then he walked in the third, and now he's got the count 3-1 here. Had a play, and it's 3-2.
Well, Tom, I'm my first slump of the year. I'm 0 for my last 2 on Stump the Fan question.
Yeah, but you got partial credit today. You did have Nolan Ryan.
Partial doesn't count.
I heard a bell.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't hear that. All right, I'm out of the slump.
Check swing. Did he go? No. And Ibanez is aboard with a second walk. And here comes Ibar, who doubled his last time up. Ibar is 1 for 2. That double was his 10th of the year. Phillies bullpen starting to stir around again. Mario Hollins was up earlier in the ball game. And I believe that's Jeff Manship who's whipping his arm around out there now. Phillies have an extra pitcher out there with Roberto Hernandez. They're going to skip him in his next start. So Roberto, who pitched in 2 of the games against the Mets this past weekend, is available out of the bullpen, at least for the time being. Pitch is fouled off Ruiz, and it's 2-1.
Hit him in the knee or the toe?
I think it hit him in the heel of the right leg. Odd angle. Under the foot of Ibar. And now 3 balls and 1 strike.
Oof. Actually, I think that ball went between the legs.
You think it went between?
Yeah.
Whatever it did quickly. Missed basically in that same spot with these first 2 left-handed batters. 2 walks issued by Burnett. Tonight on Comcast Sportsnet, the Union hit the road for a midweek affair versus the defending MLS champs, Sporting KC. That's tonight at 8:30, only on Comcast Sportsnet. now Hank Conger. And Ruiz is going to go out and chat with Burnett. He's really missing, honestly, in that same spot. And that one was a little closer to the plate. But against these left-handers, a lot of these pitches are falling off the inside part of the plate.
Yeah, and I'm not sure if it's because he's overthrowing it. It seemed like, and even the last start he had in Toronto, he was having a hard time with location. And we talked about it. He said, this game's not fun when you can't locate your fastball. And tonight it seems like he's starting the ball in too far to the left-handers, and it's just not coming back enough.
Well, he goes with the breaking pitch, and it's over for a strike. It's 1-1. Yeah, he was pretty candid about it after his last start with Toronto. I know he was candid with you about it.
Yeah, everything he's throwing today with his fastball, his curveball, his swing and miss slider really doesn't have a purpose because he's missing so much inside. And a lot has to do with overthrowing it.
That one's up the first base line, and it's rolling foul. Two balls and two strikes to Hank Conger. Well, Burnett is due up third in the bottom of the fifth inning, but they're probably not going to give him a whole lot of length to the leash here in the top of the fifth because it's only a 3-0 game, and the Angels bullpen has not been lights out this year. But the way Richards is throwing, Phillies may not get to the bullpen until later on. And a called strike three. That was probably the best two-seamer he's thrown since the early part of this ball game. And it's the 6th strikeout for A.J. Burnett.
I agree, Tom. This is the one where he took a little off, and you can just see that tail back inside. They also think that they want to try to get him through this inning. Because if you bring in Manship, then he's going to have to hit either third or you got to do a double shift, which you end up taking Brown out or Howard or whatever you want to do. So you want to try to get AJ through this inning so you don't take guys off your bench.
Garrett Green out in front of the first pitch breaking ball. It's 0-1. He's 1 for 2. He struck out looking his last time up, singled his first time to the plate.
Especially with the bullpen that's been used quite a bit lately. You bring in Manship and all of a sudden you have first and second and you pinch hit. Now you got to go in the bullpen again.
Well, he's at 112 pitches, which is his season high. And that pitch just missed. Boy, that was a pretty nice breaking pitch right there.
Good location. No balls, 2 strikes. Actually a better ride by the hitter, honestly.
Ground ball toward third. Ashe's got it to second for 1. Over to first in time. Oh, they made a great turn, even with Ibar bearing down on him. 5-4-3. Around the horn. One man left. HK looking good out in left field. Festival on May 19th at Citizens Bank Park. Admission-only tickets and a limited number of Ryan Sandberg photo booth tickets are still available. Call 215-463-1000 or visit Phillies.com for more information. Bottom of the 5th inning, it's 3-0 Angels on top. The Phillies will have the bottom third. Ruiz, Ashe, and then the pitcher's spot, as they've managed 2 hits and just 3 base runners today against 25-year-old right-hander Garrett Richards. Richards won 34 games in the minor leagues. He was 34-11 during the minors. Out of the University of Oklahoma, and he'll face Ruiz, who swung at the first pitch, his only time up. Got a pretty good swing on it. You know, Carlos has been struggling. He was 0 for 2 in last night's ball game, and 1 for 12 on the road trip. So 1 for his last 14. It's as if he went hunting for a fastball on that first pitch just to try to get himself going again.
Yeah, he probably realized the scouting report is he pounds the strike zone with a fastball first pitch. I'm going to try to jump ship first pitch of the game, the first pitch I see. You know, even though he's been in a little slump and he hasn't been getting a lot of hits, he's been patient. He's been seeing a lot of pitches, and that's the way to get out of when you're in those little slumps. You just see more pitches and you get your timing back, and just a matter of getting a chance to squaring the ball back up again.
Swing and a miss, and there's 1 away. 4 strikeouts for Richards. I should say 5.
This is just one of those hard 2-seamers. Starts in their half and handcuffs Carlos where he can't get the barrel to the ball. And I also understand he's thrown 68 pitches so far, but he has a very good off-speed pitch to put you away. So somewhat you want to be aggressive and not get the 2 strikes. But you really do have to be selective on that first pitch that you go after.
Ashe grounded out his only time up, and he fouls that one back. It's 0-1.
Let's see if that high fastball sets up for a changeup right here.
Curveball, or slider, I should say. No, that was a curve. And Ashe is rung up. He goes down looking. 6 strikeouts, 4 strikeouts in a row for Richards. As promised earlier in the game, we have the AT&T fan photo of the game. This photo comes from Lauren S. Gaynor. You can tweet your photo to #PhillyFanPhoto for a chance to be shown in an upcoming game broadcast brought to you by AT&T. There's a young lady who looking very happy in her Phillies dress. That's a beauty. Tony Gwynn will pinch hit. Tony is 0 for his last 16, trying to break out of that. So A.J. Burnett's day is done. Manship's going to come in the 6th. This kid's only thrown 73 pitches at this point. A.J. meanwhile was over 100 through 5. Manship. One under 13 pitches for A.J. Burnett here this afternoon. And Richards with that pitch is at 75, which if you average it 15 per inning, pitching coaches would like it to be 15 or less per inning. Ground ball to second. To his right is Green. The Phillies go down in order here in the 5th. So nothing across. We've completed our first 5. And Garrett Richards has been in command with a 3-0 lead. To his original major league team in the offseason and is having a very strong second month of the year. A solid April has bloomed into a spectacular start to May. Marlin hit well over 400 in the first week of the month from the middle of the lineup and is connecting with extra base power. His bat is producing. He is among the National League leaders in doubles. And it's brought to you by Independence Blue Cross. Live fearless. Well, that little guy enjoying a day at the ballpark with his pop, walking along Ashburn Alley. Sees the camera and says, "Hey, what's going on there?" He's trying to hide behind Dad's hand. Great day to be at the yard. Even if the Phillies offense has managed only 2 hits, they trail at 3-0 as we go to the 6th. Jeff Manship in his 12th ball game for the Phils. One win, 1 loss, 5.40 ERA. And he will face Luis Jimenez, then Richards, and then the top of the order for the Angels. Phillies have Jake Diekman warming up in the bullpen. Jimenez has struck out. He's also grounded into a double play. One of 2 double plays started by Ashe over at third. Checks his swing. No swing, says Brian Onora. Baez playing third base again today for David Freese. Angels have talked these last couple of days about trying to keep themselves within reach of the A's in this long season, even with the injuries they've sustained. Swing and a miss, and there's one out. 7 strikeouts today for Phillies pitching, 6 by A.J. Burnett, and the first by Manship. MLB.TV Premium, the #1 live streaming sports service, is celebrating 12 years. Join the millions of subscribers. Watch every out-of-market game live in true HD in over 400 devices. Visit Phillies.com for details. Side, Howard able to keep it in front of him. That was a tough hop, and there are 2 outs.
That's the key about playing first base, and the nice thing about his balls that are hit hard to you, all you have to do is block them and shovel. Don't worry about picking them clean. Just get them in front of you and do your job and give it to the pitcher as he's covering.
And you just hope that the pitcher's over there. Yeah. Most times they are.
And if not, they forget about your bobble out first. They blame the pitcher because he's not covering.
Here's Navarro, who's 1 for 3. Just a bit outside with that fastball, 1-0. Navarro 1 for 3 with that single back in the second. It drove in a run. It's not hit that hard. Rollins gobbles it up, and it's a 1-2-3 inning for Jeff Manship. Well, he's kind of stabilized something here in the 6th inning. Angels go down in order. We'll go to the bottom of the 6th inning with the top of the order due up for the Phillies. Great offers on our most exciting lineup ever. Shop at ChooseNissan.com. By the Pennsylvania Lottery. Benefits older Pennsylvanians every day. And by AT&T. Mobilizing your world. Last of the 6th, the Angels lead at 3-0 over the Phillies. Earlier today, Sharon Robinson, the daughter of the late Jackie Robinson, was joined by Jimmy Rollins down on the field, and they honored Peter Zuka as part of the Breaking Barriers program. Peter wrote an essay and was honored before the ball game today. The Breaking Barriers program in sports and in life has reached more than 22 million children and 2.9 million educators since its inception back in 1997. And today the Phillies honored some of the kids from the Delaware Valley who were part of the Breaking Barriers program. Peter Zuka and his classmates were here at Citizens Bank Park. Peter's essay details his perseverance and persistence to run a 5K race after complications with cancer, as Revere is retired on a bunt play by Jimenez. 1 out here in the 6th inning.
Very nice play. Jimenez finishing the bunt might be a little too hard. You want to get it closer to the line, but still made a very nice play coming in barehanded and making a strong throw to Albert Pujols to first base. Something that I wish we'd see Ben do more often is bunt. He hasn't really attempted a whole lot of times this year, and he needs to have that part of his game. In that situation, the bunt's going to either be perfect or it goes foul.
And now that's the right idea for him. The Phillies are down by 3, looking for some base runners, trying to get something going against Garrett Richards. Jimmy Rollins is 0 for 2, 0 for 6 in the series. He's grounded out twice. And it's 1 ball and 1 strike to Rollins. Ball is pulled into right field, a base hit for Rollins. And Jimmy with that base hit, he's now tied with Ed Delahanty for 3rd place all time in Phillies history. With base hits, that is number 2,211. So he's aboard. Chase Utley's coming up. Utley is 1 for 2.
That's one of those at-bats where you look silly so many times on the curveball and the slider. Then he throws you a fastball and you get to first base and go, man, I'm so glad he threw me a fastball. What's he thinking on the mound?
Outside, 1-0 to Utley. Pretty remarkable to see Rollins now tied for 3rd. And he's 6 away from tying Whitey. And then he's closing in on Mike, who has 2,234 career hits. Take a look at the notes in the Phillies newsy notes. Take a look at the notes on Rollins. I mean, it's like it's one after another as far as the rankings go. Utley hits one out toward right center field. That's pretty well hit. Navarro's going back toward the wall, and he can't get it. It's off the base of the wall. Rollins goes to 3rd. He'll be held there, and Utley's at 2nd with his 2nd double of the day. Well, that means the tying run is coming to the plate as Ryan Howard heads to the dish.
This is just another fastball that was up in the zone, and Chase was aggressive going after it, put a good swing and drove it to right center. Last few pitches have been getting up in the zone a little bit, so maybe we're starting to see it. Pitch 83, he's getting a little tired. Hopefully he leaves one up distance high and let Ryan Howard deposit one over the Powerade sign in right field.
Over the Powerade sign. Wow. You're not asking for over the Majestic or over the Stroman sign. You're talking 3rd deck. Well, it's time for our Mazda leaders. Speaking of home runs, and Ryan Howard is the active leader in home runs or at-bats per home runs at 14.1. Pujols is among the top 5. Of course, Alex Rodriguez is suspended, but he's still on that list. Phillies have 2 in scoring position with 1 man down. Well, he has started him out with a breaking pitch, I think, on all 3 at bats, hasn't he?
Yes, he has.
See if he continues with the same kind of pattern. at third. Utley, who now has the league lead in doubles with 2 today, is at second. Mike Scioscia has not made a call to the pen just yet. Phillies, meanwhile, have Mike Adams warming up in the bullpen.
Almost looks like Ryan's approach is he's hitting off a fastball every pitch, and he's attacking it instead of seeing it and letting it slow down. He's anticipating the fastball.
And he goes after a breaking pitch, and he's down on strikes for the second time, and there are 2 outs. Seven strikeouts for Richards. Give him credit. That's a heck of a pitch with 2 strikes.
It is, and it seems like right now it's the pitch that he can control, throwing for a strike and getting a strikeout pitch. 2 fastballs that he threw to Jimmy and Utley were hit pretty hard. Missed with Ryan Howard's fastball, and he went back to the old reliable slider.
Marlon Byrd is 0 for 2. He reached on a wild pitch after striking out his last time. Collins off third, Utley off second. One ball, 1 strike to Marlon Byrd. The pitch. He fights it off and fouls it. It's 1-2. That got a piece of conger, but Byrd stays alive. Well, as he's gotten into a little bit of trouble here in the 6th, he's gone to the slider or curveball because he does have both. He's gone to those pitches ahead of the fastball.
And then right now it's just a feel thing on the mound. He feels that he can throw the slider or the curveball for strikes. He's having a hard time commanding his fastball. Two, you might see a fastball inside under Merlin's hands.
Kind of like the one he fouled off.
Yeah, and try to tie him up. They're going to go away.
Now they creep back in.
Yep.
And they do go with a fastball. It's looped out toward left. Going back is Jimenez. He makes the catch in foul territory. And the side is retired. No runs, 2 hits, and 2 men left in scoring position. We're through 6, and the Angels still lead at 3-0. Time now for your local Honda dealers game summary. And the Angels scored single runs in the first, second, and third. Raul Ibanez an RBI single in the first, his 1200th career RBI. A.J. Burnett 5 walks today, 7 hits allowed. And as we go to the 7th inning, Garrett Richards and the Angels have a 3-0 lead. And it'll be Mike Trout, Albert Pujols, and Raul Ibanez to face Mike Adams in his 11th ball game. Adams of 4.15 earned run average. Trout is 0 for 2. He has struck out. He's also flied to center. Breaking ball is in there. It's 0-1. Jeff Manship went 1 inning and he pitched a 1-2-3 6th inning. First 1-2-3 inning of the day for the Phils. Ryan Sandberg with the off day tomorrow, getting some guys into the ball game in a 3-run game. A game that's still well within reach. Trout fights it off and hits it foul past the Phillies dugout.
Be nice for an elevated fastball right here. A pitch that he's had a problem with control, putting the ball, the bat on the ball. Sorry.
And Adams did come up a little bit. And he fouled it away. It remains 1-2. Well, every hitter has a hole in some way, shape, or form. But if you're 22 years old and you've already been an all-star a couple different times, You get a 6-year, $145 million contract that you just signed. The thought is you're going to adjust to whatever the hole is they find. And with these strikeouts this year, some teams have found maybe a little bit of hole, but his numbers are still pretty decent.
No, they are, and he's such a good hitter that he'll make the adjustment. He'll realize that with 2 strikes, maybe he has to back off on a swing and not swing as hard and worry about more of a contact with 2 strikes, especially with that high fastball.
There's a slider down and away. It's 3-2. Albert Pujols on deck. Remarkable thing about Trout is that he arrives so fast. Out toward right center field. That's well hit. Revere going back, and that one is off the scoreboard. And Trout's on his way to second. He's thinking 3. Utley's throw won't come, and Trout slides in head first with his 4th triple of the season. Second into the series. He is strong.
This is a situation where you get back in the hitter's count, fastball down the middle. Stayed inside the ball, put a nice, firm, hard swing on it, drove it to right center, and got that triple coming out of that batter's box, thinking 3 the whole way.
21st career triple for Mike Trout. He came into yesterday's ball game tied for the league lead in triples with Eric Ibar, the American League lead. Well, now he has 4. Ibar has 3. And now Albert Pujols, who's 2 for 3. He has doubled. He's singled. Phillies play the infield in. The first pitch is a strike. It's 0-1. The double by Pujols in the first tied him with Lou Gehrig for 33rd all time in baseball. He now has 534. He's been a remarkable run producer. And it's easy to say that considering he has 500 doubles and 500 home runs.
The remarkable stat that catches my eyes, he's played in 1,996 games. He has scored 1,449 runs and driven in 1,524 runs.
Wow. So we talk about him being productive. He goes around on that breaking pitch. Ruiz applies the tag, and Pujols is struck out. And with 1 out, runner at third, Raul Ibanez coming up. It's time for the Major League Notebook. Murph?
All right, thanks a lot, guys. Brought to you by Gwinnett Mercer University. And remember back to last Friday when David Ortiz broke up Yu Darvish's no-hitter, 2 outs in the 9th inning? Well, that did not happen, actually. He actually broke up the no-hitter in the 7th inning. That's because Major League Baseball has changed an error that they scored in the 7th inning off the bat of David Ortiz to now a hit. So that 1-hitter is now a 2-hitter. So for Yu Darvish. Still gets the win, though. And guys, Jose Fernandez, we've been talking about that over the last couple of days, Miami starter. He is indeed out for some significant time. They're saying he has a significant tear in that elbow. They are recommending surgery. He is at this point weighing his options and talking to some different people, but it is expected that he will have surgery maybe as early as the end of this week. And of course, if he does do that, he will be out for at least a year. So a tough loss for Jose Fernandez. It's a story we've been following over the last couple of days, but it looks like surgery is in the very near future for him. Guys?
You know, the one thing that stands out, Murph, in that game against San Diego, as Ibanez hits that off his foot, it's a foul ball, and it's 0-2. His velocity was at 96, 97, and I think 98. I know it was at 96, 97. And then all of a sudden, when the Padres were starting to hit him, his velocity dropped to 90 on the gun. And that's where they first realized, okay, something's going on here. Not only is he getting hit, but also his velocity is dip. I mean, that's a significant dip from 96-97 to 89-90 with a fastball for a guy like that.
Yeah, and honestly, it's hard to believe he was able to throw with that. I mean, when they did the MRI and they looked at it, it's not a small tear. Apparently, it is a significant tear, is what they're calling it. He still is able to throw the baseball with that. But it's really a shame because the Marlins were kind of getting some momentum behind him, and they need that down there in Miami. But it's going to have to wait a year.
All right, Murph, we appreciate that. Ibanez is struck out, so back-to-back strikeouts for Pujols and Ibanez.
Well, and I think what's so interesting with that situation is that how fast it can happen. And I don't think it happens on one pitch, but when you're averaging 95, 96, topping out at 98 miles an hour, and all of a sudden you drop down to 90, there's got to be an area for concern. And it's a shame. He was having a good year, and he's a great young pitcher.
Well, he's added to what's becoming a longer list of young pitchers who are coming down with Tommy John surgery. And these tears to the UCL. 1 ball and no strikes. Derek Ibar, an RBI double in the 3rd. Struck out his first time up, walked in the 5th. Trout's over 3rd, 3-0 Angels. And Conger's the next batter for the Angels. Three balls and 2 strikes. And that just missed. Second walk of the day for Ibar. And another lefty and Hank Conger coming up. These lucky fans are today's Citizens 7. They were to receive a prize pack courtesy of Citizens Bank. Good banking is simple, clear, and personal. And that's helping you bank better. Citizens Bank, good banking is good citizenship. Conger's 1 for 2 with a walk. First pitch is over for a strike. It's 0-1. Runner goes from first. Pitch is swung on and missed. It's 0-2. So they'll let Ibar take second base. Toyota Major League Scoreboard. Royals and the Rockies are in the bottom of the 5th. Royals 3, Rockies nothing. Mike Moustakas is 2 for 2, couple doubles, 3 RBIs. He has been in a horrific slump. In fact, the Royals have talked about sending him down. Maybe this is the start of him coming out of that slump. Royals are in second place in the Central. The 0-2 to Congo. Low, ball 1. Broke his bat, a looper out toward left center. Rollins backpedaling, and he makes the catch. Side is retired, no runs, 1 hit, 2 men left. So Adams works around a leadoff triple by Mike Trout. Time to stretch here at Citizens Bank Park, and the Phillies down 3-0. Very much as we go to the bottom of the 7th. Phillies trail at 3-0. And they'll have Dominic Brown, Carlos Ruiz, Cody Ashe coming up against right-hander Garrett Richards. Richards today has struck out 7. He's allowed just 4 hits. Phillies did threaten in the last inning. They had runners on second and third with 1 out, but could not push a run across the plate. Mentioned that this kid is going deep into games too. Look at his innings worked. Last time out, 7 innings. Time before that, 6. 7 before that against the Yankees. 7 2 other times. 1 ball and 1 strike to Brown.
Well, the reason why he can go deeper into a game is that if he might not have his fastball, he can rely on his off-speed pitch to get past the hitters until he gets back locked in, throwing the strikes in the strike zone again.
In the dirt. Now 2 balls and 1 strike to Dominic Brown. Navarro moves from right field over to left field for the Angels. The new right fielder is Colin Cowgill, so Raul Ibanez is lifted from the game. Cowgill will bat in Raul's spot, which is the 4 hole. Dominic Brown lines 1 out toward left. Yeah, there's 1 away. And Carlos Ruiz, who's 0 for 2, is coming up. there's no rhyme or reason for any of the stats a lot of times. And for Garrett Richards on the road, he has not allowed more than 2 runs or 5 hits in his 5 previous road starts. This is his 6th. And today he's allowed 4 hits and no runs. So he's kind of keeping in that same line. Carlos lines one back toward the middle. That's a base hit. He's aboard, takes a punch from Albert Pujols. And Cody Ashley's coming up. Well, it's time now for our Hyundai defensive play of the game. This ball took 3 seconds, Matt, to get out to Ben Revere.
Yeah, this is a ball that was hit right on the nose. Ben had a chance to go back to his left turn, and by the time he turned, the ball was on top of him, made a nice catch. Gives a little bit of love after the play. That is your defensive play of the game, brought to you by Hyundai.
Cody Ashley's 0 for 2. He's grounded out and he is struck out. Reed Brignac's come out of the on-deck circle to pinch hit for Mike Adams. That one's pulled down the right field line. It's going to hook foul. Gets away from Conger, gets in front of him. Ruiz goes to second. Second wild pitch of the day for Richard, 9th on the year. You could see it on 2 fronts why he has so many wild pitches, because of the slider and the fastball, the way it moves.
Yeah, and as a hitter, as a guy at first base, you're always taught to anticipate a ball in the dirt. And as soon as you see the fly of the ball coming out of the hand, don't hesitate, because he has to make a perfect block or perfect pick and then a perfect throw to second base.
Ashley hits one off the end of the bat, slowly left side, cut off by Jimenez. Kid's a pretty good defender over there. And for the second straight inning, the Phillies have a runner over at third. And now Brignac will pinch hit.
This is a changeup that went off the end of the bat. He actually went a long way. He was playing a ways off the third base bag, but still made a very nice play. And I agree, he's a very good defender.
Conger will go out to the mound along with Mike Butcher, the pitching coach. They give a scouting report about Reed Brignac. Brignac had 5 home runs down at Lehigh Valley this year. Monday, May 26th is the next Hatfield Dollar Dog Night here at Citizens Bank Park. It's also a salute to veterans, a 5:05 start on Memorial Day. Tuesday the 27th, Wednesday the 28th, all against the Colorado Rockies. Tickets can be purchased by going to Phillies.com. Carlos over at third. Two, 96 on that fastball. Phillies have only had 5 opportunities with runners in scoring position. Look how many opportunities the Angels have had. They've left a A boatload of base runners. They've left 10. But they lead it 3-0. Swing and a miss. Brignac is struck out. And he's thrown out at first. The side is retired. 8 strikeouts for Garrett Richards. His afternoon may be complete. We'll go to the 8th. Visit your local Delaware Valley Honda dealer, shophonda.com. By Xfinity, your home for the most live sports. And by Chevrolet, visit your local dealer at chevydealer.com. Center City, somewhat cloudy here today, but comfortable here at the ballpark. Phillies trail at 3-0. Richards' afternoon is probably done. His spot is due up third in this inning. Mike Butcher, the pitching coach, chatting with him. So we'll see what happens as the inning moves on. He was just congratulated in the dugout. Mario Hollins is the new pitcher for the Phillies. Hollins 1-1. An ERA of 4.50. And he'll face Grant Green, Luis Jimenez, and then the pitcher spot for the Angels. A.J. Burnett started. He went 5. He allowed 3 runs on 7 hits. Then Manship, a scoreless 6th. Adams, a scoreless 7th. One's bunted in the air. Foul behind home plate. Slider inside, 1-2. Mario picked up his first major league win this past weekend in New York. Seems to be, I don't even think you can say he's getting more and more comfortable in his surroundings, because he just seems to be the kind of guy that's comfortable no matter where he is. But I think each passing game that he's in, he looks more comfortable out on the hill.
And I honestly believe that he learns from mistakes. He's been watching the game. He's been noticing what's going on. If he makes a mistake and throws a slider in a situation where he might feel he should have thrown a fastball, he's making the adjustments. But he is a very low key and very respectful, and he's understanding the game, that's for sure.
Out of play. And it remains 2 balls and 2 strikes. floated out toward right center, not that deep. Utley's out, Bird's coming in, and Marlin makes the basket catch, one away. Well, time is running out. The Phillies' fantastic auction bidding ends at various times, we mentioned before, today. Items closing at 6 p.m. Eastern include a baseball set autographed by the members of the 2014 Phils. Bull's Barbecue catered party at your home with guest appearance by the Bull. Complete set of Phillies championship flags from Citizens Bank Park, and a Diamond Club experience on Sunday, June 29th between the Phils and the Braves. The fantastic auction benefits Phillies charities. Very last chance. Check it out now at Phillies.com. Last chance to bid on getting a chance to play some ice hockey with Matt. Murph mentioned before, get a chance to be in the booth for an inning with LA and Scott. Or for a game, I should say, but on for an inning. Line drive caught by Cody Ashley, 2 outs.
There was a fastball inside that you wanted to get a little farther, but I guess when things are going good and you square up a fastball, you hit it right, somebody didn't play.
Well, Cody's made every play at him today. He's made some double plays, started some double plays. I think the best one was the 5-3 double play back in the third. So now with 2 outs here at the top of the 8th, John McDonald will pinch hit for Richards. McDonald started yesterday's game for the Angels. John has not received the same welcome back that, let's say, Raul Ibanez has received.
No, but when he went to Toronto.
Oh, they loved him, right?
He's probably one guy that could probably run for mayor and win. They absolutely love him in Toronto.
I don't know if he can keep up with the current mayor of Toronto. Right around second base, Chase Utley comes in. Mario Hollins pitches a 1-2-3, 8th inning. Nothing across for the Angels. On to the bottom of the 8th inning. It's the Angels 3 and the Phillies 0. Every time the Phillies retire the opposing team 1-2-3, which Mario Hollins just did in the top of the 8th inning, Comcast will make a contribution to Phillies charities. Phillies baseball is brought to you by Xfinity, your home for the most live sports. Bottom of the 8th inning, the Angels 3, Phillies nothing. Some of the sights of Citizens Bank Park. Ernesto Frieri is on the pitch the 8th inning. That might be sitting there scratching your head saying, well, didn't he close last night? Well, he did. And Mike Scioscia said after the ball game, and he reiterated it today, that he felt in the 8th inning last night the toughest road was what the Phillies were sending up there. So that's why he brought Joe Smith in the 8th inning last night. And then he had Frieri back him up in the 9th. But Smith will be the closer today in the 9th inning. John McDonald stays in the ball game to play second base for the Angels as Ben Revere leads it off. First pitch is over. It's 0-1. By the way, folks at the Angels said they don't remember Scioscia doing anything like that, like taking the closer, pitching him in the 8th inning instead of the 9th inning.
I guess it makes sense because, you know, baseball, it's all about numbers now.
And he was right. You know, the Phillies' best hitters have been Rollins, Utley, and Howard. You know, Bird obviously has been in there too, and he led off the 9th inning. But you know, he figured the heaviest lifting was the 8th, and that's when Smith faced Rollins, Utley, and Howard and got them out. Chopper left side. Ibar charges. One away. And Rollins is coming up. Rollins singled his last time up and was left over at third. Phillies have left 6 today. Garrett Richards went 7, struck out 8, didn't walk a batter, and allowed 5 hits. Ball over to first. Big hop for Albert Pujols. 2 outs. Toyota Major League Scoreboard. The Braves and the Giants battling out in San Francisco, and Atlanta leads 2-0 in the first on a Freddie Freeman RBI double. Braves officially released some renderings of their new stadium that they're going to build, not in downtown Atlanta, outside the city. Those are making their way around the internet. They're more the outside part of the renderings. Chase Utley's 2 for 3, double twice. Utley is struck out, and the Phillies go down in order here in the 8th inning. A quiet 8th. We'll go to the 9th inning. It's the Angels riding the 3 runs they scored in the first 3 innings with the lead.
The score 3-0. Angels holding on to that 3-0 lead. And guys, after tonight, tomorrow the Phils will enjoy a day off. And then I'm happy to report a National League team is coming to town. The Cincinnati Reds will bring in the right-hander Homer Bailey to face Kyle Kendrick. That's on Friday. On Saturday, Cole Hamels will go for the Phillies, still determining whether or not who will pitch for the Cincinnati Reds. And then on Sunday, it's Mike Leake, the right-hander, taking on Cliff Lee for the Phillies. Guys, send it back upstairs.
All right, Murph, we appreciate that. And speaking of tomorrow's off day, the Phillies have announced that Miguel Alfredo Gonzalez, who has been banged up since spring training, will pitch in a rehab assignment tomorrow in Clearwater as he continues to come back from arm problems that plagued him not only with his command but also with his velocity a little bit in spring training. From all reports, he's throwing very well. It's all simulated games and batting practice, but I think everybody's anticipated or is looking forward to seeing what Miguel does for the Threshers tomorrow in Clearwater.
Yeah, and they definitely want to see how his velocity is. And that's the most important thing. Is once his velocity gets built back up, realizing that his arm strength's there again, and they realize this is the guy that we signed, not the guy we had in spring training who was throwing 88 to basically 90 miles an hour.
Right. Yeah, the last reports during simulated games is that his fastball was in the low 90s, low to mid 90s, which is a great thing. Bastardo watches as Navarro lifts one toward left, and Dominic Brown makes a sliding grab into foul territory. One out here in the top of the ninth. Good job by Dominic Brown to close on that one.
Yeah, as he goes a long way, and he slides just to stay away from having a collision with the fence.
Yep.
Which is really what you're taught when you're getting close to the fences. You want to catch and slide, and that way you can stop quick.
So with one out, Mike Trout's coming up. Last time we saw Bastardo was in Sunday's loss to the Mets when the Phillies had a 4-1 lead. Bastardo was put in charge of trying to close it out. 3-2 on the year, a 5.40 ERA. 24 base runners in 16 2/3. That was the day that Jonathan Papelbon was unavailable because, as we found out after the ballgame, soreness, body soreness. And after the game, Jonathan had talked about it being, getting up, getting down, being in games, that type of thing. Yesterday, he talked more about it. He said it wasn't as much as about getting up often in the Mets series. It was even the other series leading up to the 2 against the Toronto Blue Jays. And he's just trying to maintain the conditioning that he has so he doesn't get put on the whatever soreness is bothering the neck or the back. He manages this, as he said, this long season. Ryan Sandberg did say yesterday, that he expects that his closer should be able to go 3 straight days. Off the end of the bat, it's 3 balls and 2 strikes. But Papelbon did say yesterday that he is ready to go. He's feeling fine, and if it is a safe situation, he'll take the baseball. Phillies haven't been in that situation these last couple days. So many things about that Sunday game. Yeah, you want your closer to be out there. There's no question about that. But it was still a 3-run lead in the 9th inning. Should be able to finish that off.
You would hope. And I think that's the reason why it's become such an issue.
Right. Swing and a miss. Trout is struck out. Good slider by Bastardo. 2 outs. Bastardo said after the ball game that it's his responsibility. He's in that spot. He should be able to get those outs, and he just didn't. Albert Pujols is 2 for 4. Doubled in the first, singled in the third. He has scored a couple runs. Albert give you any word of advice today? Anything when you talk to him?
No, he was happy. He said he's healthy. He feels great. The lower half of his body is feeling right. He's getting that proper push off the backside to drive the ball again, which he lost. But you mentioned yesterday, Tom, you made a great point that he looks like he's in great shape. I mean, he really is. He's worked hard at it to get back from the injury, and he's enjoying the game again because he's having success.
And you mentioned those numbers before, the runs scored and the RBIs. This season is a case in point. 26 runs scored and 26 RBIs.
The runs and RBIs are the numbers I always look at, because it's more of a team of how many times you're driving people in or how many runs you're scoring.
Gets the green light with the count 3-0. Dominic Brown comes sprinting in from left. And the side is retired in order here in the ninth inning. All right, last chance for the Phils, trying to stave off their third straight loss. Ryan Howard will lead it off when we come back for the bottom of the ninth. Park. Time now for our W.B. Mason delivery of the game. And we go back to the first inning, and it's Raul Ibanez. This is his career 1,200th RBI. And that was a bloop that turned into a run.
Yeah, it was. And it was a fast one. So after 2 strikes, AJ tried to get that two-seamer to run back over, and it stayed inside and got his 1,200th RBI.
Saw Raul today really very quickly because he was running every which way. They had a long hitters meeting. The Angels did before the game. Looks exactly the same. He was lifted earlier in the ball game, and Joe Smith is entering to try to close it out. Smith with 4 saves and 6 opportunities. And he'll come on to face Ryan Howard, Marlon Byrd, Dominic Brown. Phillies have obviously struggled against American League teams so far. And they're trying to change their luck here in the bottom of the 9th inning. Otherwise, they can't. They fall 4 under 500 as we get closer to the first milepost of the season. Nearly a quarter of the way into the 2014 season. Ryan Sandberg's team is 3 games under 500. They've lost 6 of 8. And they were hoping that this homestand would help them get back to some winning ways. Howard takes outside. It's 1-0. Howard is 1 for 3. He struck out a couple times. He singled. Was back in the 4th. Fly ball center field. Mike Trout is there. And there's one away. I heard that ball was toward the end of the bat for Howard. And now Marlon Byrd. Marlon is 0 for 3. Marlon has popped out twice. He struck out but reached on a wild pitch. Out toward right field. Not deep. Cowgill on the run. He's coming in. He makes the catch in foul territory. 2 outs. Now, these 2 games have not been particularly good for the Phillies offense.
No, and Murph made a great point earlier. The National League teams are coming back in starting Friday.
Yeah, the Phillies are done with the American League teams for a little bit of time. So they can regroup by taking on the Reds. And all the Reds are doing, they're going to send Bailey, probably Latos, and Leak against the Phillies this weekend. Dominic Brown takes strike 1. Oh, and 2. Out of play. Next time the Phillies face an American League team, it'll be the Houston Astros in the first week of August. And then they face the Angels a week later in Anaheim. San Francisco after that, and then Seattle. And then we go to September when they'll face the Oakland Athletics.
Well, I'd rather see us play the Astros here than go into their ballpark and play them. For some reason.
You remember that, huh?
Yes, I do.
Oh, 2 pitch to Brown. Pops it up foul. Off the front of the Hall of Fame club. Popped him up, and that'll slice out of play. And the count remains no balls and 2 strikes. Here's what's left as far as the interleague schedule goes. The Astros the 5th, 6th, and 7th of August here, and then at the Angels the 12th and 13th. Seattle and Oakland. 1-7. And make that 1-8. Dominic Brown's down on strikes. Joe Smith closes the door with a 1-2-3 9th inning. And the Phillies lose to the Angels 3-0 here this afternoon. And the Angels have swept the 2-game series.